Fan base. The tide turned in a way nobody saw coming. There's heavy smoke around an explosive target from the other conference. Immediate reinforcements in the trenches. A serious decision under the helmet that could redraw the entire game plan. And a medical update that changes the board for Sunday. The real question is, who do you want on the field when the clock gets tight? You won't believe what we've got today, so take a seat, hit that like button, and let's jump straight into it. And brace yourself, because the next twist might be bigger than it looks right now, seriously. When a pillar falls, the blueprint has to be rebuilt. With Nick Bosa out for the season, the 49ers pass rush rotation lost its anchor, and suddenly, a name started igniting debates across the league: Kayvon Thibodeau. This isn't empty smoke. In the last few hours, analysts have begun to cite the Giants' edge rusher as a plausible target for an impact move before the November 4 trade deadline. The label attached to the conversation is clear: high price, immediate return. The opening ask being tossed around involves either a 2026 second-round pick or a starting offensive player, possibly a wide receiver. To this point, there are no confirmed phone calls. It's a market read, driven by need, opportunity, and a calendar that's closing fast. Why Thibodeau? Form and contract. In New York, he opened 2025 generating consistent pressure, 2.5 sacks and 8 QB hits through week 5, numbers that tell a story of growing production. And the cost control is seductive. He's under the 5th-year option in 2026, around $14.75 million. For a front office that values budget predictability, that's gold. Technically, the fit is direct. Explosive first step, ability to win the arc, a reliable inside counter, and the versatility to play both standing up and with a hand in the dirt. That's the kind of piece that changes third down math from the very first snap. Why would the Giants listen? Because the edge room is crowded. Brian Burns arrived to be the anchor. Rookie Abdul Carter went top 3 in the draft, and the staff wants a deep, fresh rotation into December. In that scenario, a strong package could open a window, especially if it includes draft capital and an offensive player who solves a specific New York need. Do the 49ers have ammo? Financially, yes. Cap space is projected around $24 million, which is enough to absorb a young starter's deal without twisting the spreadsheet. In terms of need, even more so. Beyond Bosa's absence, the defensive line has been fighting snap limits and injuries that sap pressure and expose the secondary when the clock extends. An edge who wins one-on-one reduces blitz rate, unlocks interior stunts, speeds up reads, and frees Fred Warner to be a surprise weapon in key moments. What's the risk? Price and the speed of adaptation. A 2026 second plus a player hurts, and the market could heat up if Trey Hendrickson or Jalen Phillips truly become available, shrinking the margin for a big swing. That's where John Lynch's cold blood comes in. Pay today for pressure tomorrow, or trust the in-house engineering to hold until January. Timing is everything. The deadline presses buyers into uncomfortable decisions. If the pressure rate doesn't bounce back in the next couple of weeks, Thibodeau will stay near the top of those internal big swing boards. And now it's your turn. Is a 2026 second worth it? Would you part with a starting wideout for a pass rusher in his physical prime? Because the way the tide is turning, one precise move could knock over the right domino. And this wasn't even the most surprising part of the day. When the front office moves in silence, something's about to happen. And that's exactly what went down in Santa Clara. In the middle of the buzz about a splashy pass rush addition, the 49ers made a quick, practical move. They brought veteran Bruce Hector back to the practice squad. At first glance, it looks modest, but context turns it into a surgical play. The team simply couldn't wait. The defensive line has become a full-on triage unit these past few weeks, and every name on the injury sheet increases the urgency to inject fresh legs both inside and on the edge. Hector knows the building. He was here in August during the preseason before being released at final cuts. Now he returns to a system he already understands, with minimal ramp-up and a very real chance to be elevated if the situation stays critical. And let's be honest, the absence list reads like a full roll call. Kalia Davis with a broken hand, Alfred Collins undergoing knee evaluations, Yetur Gross-Matos dealing with a hamstring strain, Robert Beal out with an ankle sprain, and CJ West literally playing with a broken thumb. Add Nick Bosa's season-ending ACL tear, and it's easy to understand why John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan didn't want to wait another week. So why Hector? Experience and readiness. At 29, he's bounced through the Eagles, Cardinals, Panthers, Titans, Lions, Texans, and Jets, logging 22 games and 21 tackles with 1.5 sacks. Those are modest numbers, but the kind of versatility the 49ers prize: stout against the run, disciplined with gap control, and capable of generating interior push on long downs. He's not here to be a star, he's here to stabilize chaos, and right now, that's worth as much as a headline name. The immediate impact hits the rotation. Shanahan can better manage snaps for the remaining starters, reducing soft tissue risk and ensuring the defense sustains intensity into the fourth quarter. The next opponent, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, brings a physical offensive line and backs who attack interior seams without reinforcements. The 49ers were staring at real fatigue risk. With Hector in the room, they at least gain a safety valve. The fan reaction is telling. Some demand blockbuster trades for stars, others see this kind of quiet signing as the secret to a steady long campaign. campaign. There's truth in that. Small moves at the right time often become the cement that holds up the big pushes later in the season. If Hector holds the fort, Lynch can aim higher, maybe using this breathing room to set up the swing the fan base is really waiting for. And the most interesting part, this was only the front office's initial response to an avalanche of health setbacks. Because if you think the defensive line drama was the week's peak, just wait until you see what's happening at the most sacred position on the roster. Just when the waters looked calmer after the injury storm, a twist nobody expected, this time straight at quarterback. Brock Purdy, the face of the franchise, continues to battle a turf toe issue, and the guy keeping the train on the tracks is none other than Mac Jones. And look, he's delivering more than many imagined. 3 wins in 5 starts, 2/3 of his passes completed, 6 touchdowns, and only 1 interception. Solid stats, sure, but what really stands out is the poise. He's running Shanahan's offense like a veteran. The irony is that this consistency created a good problem. There's no panic to rush Purdy back. Usually, when a QB1 goes down, a team spirals. In San Francisco, fans look at the field and think, we're okay, and that's rare. Credit to Jones, who seems to have reconnected with what made him a first-round pick back in 2021. In Shanahan's system, he's comfortable, fast through progressions, and most importantly, limiting the mistakes that haunted him in New England. The offense has gained rhythm and a calm confidence it was missing. ESPN, NFL Network, Bleacher Report, everyone has noticed. The buzz indicates Jones will start against the Buccaneers even if Purdy practices. Dan Graziano was blunt. It would be a surprise to see Purdy in Week 6. The logic is simple. The staff learned its lesson. In Week 4, the rushed return cost them in a loss to Jacksonville. Now the plan is to avoid repeating that mistake. Purdy has a $265 million extension and is the long-term pillar, but the present demands caution. The belief in Jones is obvious. Teammates talk about his leadership, command of the huddle, and calm, intense moments. Shanahan has tweaked the script to maximize Jones's style. More quick game, streamlined reads, heavy tight end usage, and it's working. The defense keeps scores manageable, the offense controls tempo, and the 49ers are winning with maturity, even without their usual flash. Of course, some see danger in that calm. A slice of the fan base fears Jones's hot stretch could cast an unwanted shadow over Purdy, reigniting the exact debate the team hoped to avoid. Who should start? The coaching staff doesn't seem worried. The focus is Purdy's health and maintaining competitive rhythm. And let's be honest, if there's an ideal setup to manage a QB1 injury, this is it. Win after win, confidence high, locker room aligned. What's next? The trip to Tampa Bay is a real test. Physical defense, hostile stadium, relentless rush. Jones will have the chance to prove he's not just a capable stand-in, but a weapon who can uphold the 49ers standard. While the star heals, one more win, and the conversation shifts, and maybe Purdy gets the full runway to return at 100%. Irony at work. One man's pain became another's opportunity. And as the future of the offense heats up, what comes next could change more than anyone imagines. Wednesday's practice in Santa Clara had a different feel, not just because of the light rain on the field, but because the training room felt like a second locker room. The absence list is long and heavy, and it's forcing Kyle Shanahan to stress test the roster's depth. The good news, some of those absences were vet rest. The bad, 3 key starters are at real risk of missing the matchup with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Brock Purdy is the name everyone expected to see there, and there he is. After aggravating his turf toe in the loss to the Jaguars, the quarterback was held out again and is unlikely to be cleared for Sunday. Shanahan's stance is clear. The number 13 won't go back out there before he's ready. Even if the diagnosis isn't severe, the medical staff wants to avoid a relapse. And here's the curious part. Nobody inside the locker room seems anxious. Confidence in Mac Jones is high enough that the team can give Purdy the time he needs. Putting him on injured reserve was floated in some corners, but Shanahan shut it down quickly. It hasn't been a thought. If all goes well, the return should happen in Week 7. Until then, the plan is to protect that $265 million investment with maximum care. But Purdy isn't the only issue. Ricky Pearsall, this season's surprise spark on offense, is also a doubt. The rookie has been one of the brightest points on the team. Crisp routes, natural chemistry with Jones, growing confidence. Then the knee flared up again. The PCL injury from the Jaguars game kept him off the field, and Shanahan wasn't optimistic. We hoped he'd get in this week. Didn't happen. We'll see if there's a turn by Friday, but I'm not counting on it. Translation for fans, expect him to sit versus the Bucs. That's a big loss without Pearsall. The offense loses its best short area mover and a crucial third down outlet. The list also includes Ja'Cory Jennings, the warrior who never spares himself. He was already dealing with shoulder and ankle issues, and a rib shot last game made everything worse. The result is a risky cocktail. Pain, limited mobility, high aggravation risk if he plays. The staff wants to rest him, especially because Tampa promises a four-quarter fist fight. Without Pearsall and Jennings, Mac Jones might face a strong Buccaneers defense with a mostly reserved wide receiver group. That scenario demands creativity and likely means another chance for names like Sky Moore and Jordan Watkins to step up and earn real trust. Naturally, fans are debating, is it time to look outside? A veteran on the street? A quick swing before the deadline? Shanahan hasn't ruled anything out. And some see in these absences a chance to test the group's resilience, that next man up mentality that defines the 49ers winning DNA. The key, as the coach puts it, is to keep focus and energy. We've been through weeks like this before. The group is solid. I trust the guys here. Firm words, but there's an urgent undertone in the air. Maybe that's the truest snapshot of the moment. The 49ers head into another fight patched together, but with the same spirit that brought them this far to compete, endure, and believe the next man will, in fact, get it done. Because if this team has learned anything, it's that adversity can become jet fuel. In the end, weeks like these are what forge champions. Amid the storm, the path is visible. Reinforce the pass rush, keep the line alive, and protect the franchise quarterback. The Thibodeau buzz sparks ambition. The quiet Hector signing steadies the trench, and the caution with Purdy preserves January while Jones keeps both hands on the wheel. The injuries are heavy, but they're also revealing character and depth. So here's the question. Is it worth paying a premium for a QB hunter right now, or do you trust the roster to hold until the turn? Drop your take in the comments, subscribe, hit the bell, and share this with a fellow fan. Tomorrow there's more, and the next piece might fall where no one expects.